You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh my goodness. Welcome into the program, everybody. You are Locked On Phillies Postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta, and you're watching right now the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. So make sure you like and subscribe to this brand new channel. We are just 2 subscriptions away from 100. Triple digits, baby. It's new. We're in our infancy, so getting into triple digits would be nice. Smash like, smash subscribe, and all that great stuff. And we can have a lot of fun with this Philadelphia Phillies team, this team is off to the best start in franchise history. The Philadelphia Phillies have been around since 1883, and through 50 games, they have never had better a start than they are having right now at 36-14. I can't believe it. A lot of you can't believe it, but it's happening, and it's happening right now. We have a ton of Phillies that we need to talk about to help them get to the point that they're at right now, and to think about Trey Turner missing the time that he has missed, thinking about guys stepping up in this lineup each and every night. And as you see in the headline, when it comes to our little thumbnail there on YouTube, JT Realmuto, it was his turn to rake. 3 RBIs tonight. He gets a 2-run single. He gets his 6th home run of the season. An absolute bomb to left field. You're feeling pretty good right now if you're a member of the Philadelphia Phillies. You're feeling pretty good right now if you're a member of the Philadelphia Phillies fan base. Unfortunately, the only person who might not be feeling so great, Tiajuan Walker. Not a great outing for him. 4 2/3, couldn't get to 5 innings, which means he couldn't log another win, unfortunately, for himself tonight. But the Phillies and the Phillies bullpen picked up their starting pitcher in tonight's ball game. Before we go any further and bring you 3 big things, I do need to tell you that this show is brought to you by the wonderful people at eBay Motors. From brakes to exhaust kits and beyond, eBay Motors has over 122 million parts to keep your ride or die alive. With all the parts that you need at the prices that you want, it's easy to bring home that big win with eBay Motors. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. That's ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay guaranteed fit only, available to U.S. customers. Let's start it off now with 3 big things. Number 1, I'm going to go to right out of the gate, shot out of a cannon, Edmundo Sosa. I can't believe how well this guy is playing. I mean, a lot of things that surround this Philadelphia Phillies ball club surrounds the phrase, I can't believe. But here we are, forced to believe it because it's happening in front of our very eyes. If you would have said, sum up for me in an under-the-radar way. Like Alec Bohm is definitely on the radar. Bryce Harper's on the radar. Even JT Realmuto is on the radar. Trey Turner, very much on the radar with the exception of the injury now. But if you were to tell me, under the radar, who's a guy that could really sum up where the Phillies are at with their best start in franchise history through 50 games? The name I would give you is Edmundo Sosa. In this game tonight, going into it, and then after his first at bat, Edmundo Sosa had an over 400 on base percentage. He was hitting over 300. And he comes up today, and they announced it on the broadcast, his first ever 3-run home run. What? Yes! And he hits it to opposite field. He does what so many of these hitters in this Phillies lineup has done this season, which is go with the pitch. And he goes with the pitch, drops the barrel of the bat down in the zone, and he pops it to deep right field. Gone, home run. Nice catch by the fan who brought his mitt to his game. Okay, you do you. But either way, that was the big hit in the ball game for the Phillies. That was the big hit in the ball game, obviously, for Edmundo Sosa. And you go into that 4th inning. Phillies are only enjoying at this point a 1-run lead. It's 3-2. JT Realmuto had gotten you that home run in the 3rd inning on a hanging slider that just stayed up there, and he belted 387 feet down the left field line. Home run. Then you go into that bottom of the 4th inning. Phillies had something going for themselves. You had Castellanos get the walk with a 1-out walk. Marsh steps up with the 1-out single. So you got runner on 1st and 2nd with 1 out. They decide to take Dunning out of the game, and they bring in Hernandez. Hernandez throws 1 pitch, and the pitch that he picks is a sinker that gets every inch of the plate. Over the middle of the plate, a little down in the zone, and Edmundo Sosa goes with it and puts it 382 feet into the right field stands for a 3-run home run. It goes from a 3-2 game to a 6-2 lead. That, to me, is what this Phillies team has done throughout every game this year. That's how they have gotten to the point that they're at right now. Great pitching, no doubt about it. But the big hit. If you go back and look at a lot of games, for instance, some of the 14 games that they lost, a lot of those games, they just didn't get the big hit. And so much of baseball is timely hitting. Well, Edmundo Sosa came up with the big hit. JT Realmuto got him in front. Edmundo Sosa says, oh, we got this. We got this for good. And that's what he was able to do for this Phillies ball club in that fourth inning, seeing one pitch, figuring he's going to get something straight to hit, and boy, did he get it. And he smacked it into the right field stands. Rojas then fouled out the third to end that threat. Schwarber got a walk on 4 pitches, and then JT unfortunately struck out to end the inning. But the Phillies really got something going for themselves with a 3-run fourth inning, thanks in large part to Edmundo Sosa getting the job done when he needed that big hit. Eddie Sosa was the guy to do it. And I was thinking, Eddie Sosa was Edmundo Sosa before he came here to Philadelphia. You know what his claim to fame was? His claim to fame was while he was playing shortstop for the St. Louis Cardinals, he made a pirouette throw to first base, and unfortunately, it didn't go to first base. It went in the direction of the first place, but it ended up in the first base umpire's ear. He popped him one good from the shortstop spot. That was Edmundo Sosa's most famous play prior to playing for the Phillies, where he's hitting home runs, and by the way, also making phenomenal plays in the field. He might give me a run for my money on constantly calling Bryce the best shortstop on this team. Edmundo Sosa made 2 very good plays. One was an extremely heads-up play where he got the guaranteed out, if you will, in a fielder's choice situation in that 5th inning when the Rangers are trying to get something going for themselves. In that 5th inning, you have Tiajuan Walker struggling, unfortunately, in that inning. Simeon goes up there with an 8-pitch at bat. He works a walk, so he wins that. Seager goes up there, works a 4-pitch walk, so he definitely won that at bat. And then Lowe steps up, lines out to left field, and then Garcia hits a dribbler to Edmundo Sosa deep in the hole. Alec Bohm dives to his left. Sosa gloves it on the backhand. Pirouette, triple sow cow, triple toe loop, whatever. Fires to Bryce at second base to get the force out in that situation. He was able to limit the damage after that. Tiajuan Walker, unfortunately, ended up giving up 1 RBI single in that inning, and that was to Smith on a ground ball with eyes, if you will. And that ball just found its way into center field, and it made it a RBI single. And then Walker was out. Strahm came in, and Strahm does what Strahm does. Strahm did what Strahm does, which is just get out of the jam. And that's exactly what he did. He pitched the next inning as well in the 6th and was pretty picture perfect for the most part, especially after giving up a leadoff walk, got the double play ball that he needed. But yeah, Edmundo Sosa, number 1 on the list today. Number 2, JT Realmuto is the guy that put the Phillies up 3-2. After JT Realmuto put the Phillies up 3-2, the Phillies never lost the lead after that. You had Edmundo Sosa tacking on some runs, and then Realmuto stepped to the plate again in the bottom of the 6th inning with a 2-run single. Got the Phillies to a 8-3 ball game. Seager came up with a big hit as well later, and then Bohm came up to make it a 10-3 game in that 6th inning. Seager came up with a home run in the 7th. But JT Realmuto this season has had his struggles. Because he is so good behind the plate, we often don't highlight the cold spells that unfortunately he does go through in any given season. But JT Realmuto, since he has been moved to the 2-hole for this Phillies team, since he's been even moved out of the cleanup spot, if he's batted 5th in this lineup, has had good at-bats and continued to give you good at-bats. And now 6 home runs on the season, grabs the lead with that 3-2 lead with that 6 home run that he had. I thought he showed great patience on that pitch as well. And then he came up to make sure that the Phillies kept adding on. And they did that with his RBI 2-run single there in the 6th inning. Then you had Alec Bohm. Let's think about this. Alec Bohm. Is it even a Phillies win if Alec Bohm isn't driving in runs? 0 for 3 going into that at bat there in the 6th inning. No RBIs, so not even a sac fly. And Alec Bohm steps up, bases loaded situation, and he gets the 2-run double to center field. I would call it a hustle double or maybe a heads-up double because he realized that the Texas Rangers had no idea what was going on, so he took advantage of what they were giving him. And, man, they gave you a lot. We'll get to that for sure. But he took advantage of that and made it a 10-3 ball game, just like that. So, number 1, I'm going to go with Edmundo Sosa filling in beautifully. Then I'm going to go with JT Realmuto. I give the honorable mention there for Alec Bohm to drive in the runs. I'll give another honorable mention to Bryce Harper, who hit his 12th home run of the season. I'll bask in that as well. But the guys that I really want to shout out that absolutely make the top three with three big things, anytime your starting pitcher can't give you 5 innings, you're going to need that bullpen. So number 3, I reserve a spot in the top 3 for 3 big things to the Phillies bullpen contingent of Matt Strahm, Gregory Soto, Orion Kerkering, and Jose Ruiz, who in the remaining portions of the game, after your starter went out for 4 2/3, came on in relief and only allowed 1 run. And it was that Corey Seager home run. And yeah, it was off Gregory Soto, unfortunately. However, Soto also got 2 strikeouts in the game. So I will take an inning and a third from Matt Strahm. I will take an inning scoreless of Orion Kerkering, an inning scoreless of Jose Ruiz, and yes, 1 run charged to Gregory Soto. The bullpen didn't have a lot of pressure on him. Fortunately, as the game went on, the bats did their job. Literally picked up everybody. That's what you need. This lineup needs to mash. If your starting pitcher's not lasting, your bullpen was like your relief pitchers needed some relief. It couldn't have been a close game. And the bats picked up for them, but they still came in and they did their job. If you're telling me that your bullpen is going out there and giving you 4 1/3 innings worth of work, I'm pretty happy about that. And they're only allowing 1 run, you're gonna win a lot of games if your bullpen's got to pitch that much and only gives up 1 run. Yeah, I like it. And by the way, that 1 home run was the only hit that your bullpen allowed. Not a bad night. Not a bad night at all. Those are the 3 big things. When we come back, we're going to focus in a little bit more on what Bryce Harper had going on for himself. And 4 errors by the Rangers. I understand they're the world champions, but good gracious, everybody. This Philadelphia Phillies team, for the people that do want to cry about how they haven't played anybody, well, they're playing the world champions, but they're not playing anything like world champions. 4 errors and how the Phillies took great advantage of that, especially in that 6th inning. Also, a personal note on that 6th inning, something that might have turned my 4-year-old daughter into a baseball fan. We'll talk about that when we come back. You're a Locked On Phillies postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Back in a second. Oh, you guys have heard me talking a lot about Prize Picks. You know I love Prize Picks. Prize Picks is an absolute blast. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with more than 3 million members. It's the easiest and most exciting way to get in on all the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. You just have to pick, very simple. You pick more or you pick less. Like I had less on JT Realmuto RBIs. I lost. That was a losing bet for me, unfortunately. I picked more, as in more innings than 5 that Tiajuan Walker would get you tonight. I thought she'd get you 6. I lose that. So to me, double whammy, unfortunately. But you could be a lot smarter than me. You probably are. And you could win on Prize Picks by simply picking more or less on so many different statistical categories. Prize Picks even offers injury insurance, something we'd all love with fantasy sports. So if your entry stays in, let's say in a baseball game, if they're in there and they get hurt and they don't register 2 plate appearances or less, then guess what? Prize Picks, they'll have your back, and they won't even count that as a loss. Love testing my skills on Prize Picks this baseball season. It's the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And if you have the skills, you could turn $10 into $100 with just a few taps. That's how easy it is on Prize Picks. Prize Picks, really simple to play. I can make my picks and submit my entries in less than 60 seconds, folks. So do yourself a favor. Download Prize Picks and have yourself a great time. Download the app today. Use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's all lowercase. LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Once again, download the app today. Use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's just that easy with Prize Picks. All right, before we go any further, I want to check in what the good people are saying in the chat. Let's get to, Tampa Eagle. There we go, from Tampa. Hey, hon. Phillies win. Damn right. IBH, what's going on? Good evening. Wow, again, not much left to say. I literally put up words from a thesaurus yesterday, people, when it came to Ranger Suarez, because we just run out of adjectives to describe how amazing, how stupendous, how phenomenal, how great his start individually to the season is. It's pretty amazing. Eric Gallagher, what's going on? Nice to see you, buddy. Incredible. Absolutely 1,000,000% incredible. Star Wars 99. Phillies are on fire. Remo K? Hey, what's happening? Love this team. How could you not? In all honesty, how could you not? IBH, I did have the same thought that you had. Walker might have problems with the foot injury. Maybe. I also think maybe he couldn't adjust to this god-awful strike zone when it was a strike, when it was a ball. Hit a rough outing. Bottom line, a rough outing. In a lot of ways, though, just to talk about Tiajuan Walker for a second here while we're bringing him up in the chat, this did remind me a little bit of Ranger Suarez's start in last night's game in this one area. They both started out bad. They both had really bad first innings, over 20 pitches in the first inning. I think for 27 pitches it was for Tiajuan Walker tonight. But he limited the damage. Similar to Ranger Suarez, limited the damage. 27 pitches, only allowed 1 run. Came back a little bit there in the second inning, but still gave up a home run, unfortunately, on a 1-0 splitter to Tavares. That, holy Lord, he blasted that baseball. 437 feet to dead center field. Shout out to Johan Rojas. Not that I ever think in a million years he'd ever show up as pitcher, but the fact that he even gave it was more than a courtesy jog. That ball was closer to Ashburn Alley than it was anything in play. 437 feet, and Johan Rojas is like, oh, I might get this. I might get this ball that's going to land somewhere in some cheesesteak stand in South Philly. This one might be on Passyunk. That might hit Barcelona. If you know, you know. Anyway, that was very courteous. That was very nice of Johan Rojas. Professional courtesy to Tiajuan Walker on that home run. But anyway, Tiajuan Walker, not impressive tonight, unfortunately. But the difference was Ranger Suarez settled in. 59 pitches through the first 3 innings, 30 through his next 3 innings. That was Ranger Suarez last night. Tonight, Tiajuan Walker could never figure it out, unfortunately. Project 50s, what's going on? Walker is still terrible. In my opinion. There you go. Crazy. Strahm looking great. Strahm looks unhittable. He just looks unhittable. And they were talking about it on the broadcast, too, when it came to Matt Strahm and what he's able to do for this team. What is he at now? 21 innings scoreless? 20 and 2/3 innings scoreless, I think, now. 21 and a third? I don't know. But he's great. He's great. All that is great. All right. I mentioned before the break that we're going to get into the errors, the gifts, if you will. We've said this about a lot of teams in the past, juggernaut teams. We usually say this about the Atlanta Braves when the Phillies play the Braves during the regular season, or you face those good teams. A team like the Dodgers that you're going to face a little bit later on this year, right? You face those teams, and we always say the same thing. You can't give those teams extra outs. The Texas Rangers gave the Phillies many extra outs today, whether it was actually chalked up as an error, like the 4 that they had, or it was just mental mistakes, like Alec Bohm being able to take second base in that 6th inning. First, let's get to the errors, for instance. In that 6th inning, Castellanos had the walk. Marsh flew out to left field. And then Sosa got hit by a pitch, allegedly. They reviewed it. He did not get hit by a pitch. He ends up striking out. So now you got 2 outs in the inning. Johan Rojas hits a softly hit ground ball. Hits a soft ground ball to Corey Seager at shortstop. Seager goes to flip to Simeon there at second base. Simeon thinks instead of taking the easy way out, which is what Seager was doing, Simeon thinks that he's just going to fire to first to get the 3rd and final out of the inning. So for the people on the podcast, I'm going to act this out. But as Corey Seager is fielding the ball, in one very smooth transitions to his throwing hand, and clearly goes immediately to toss the ball to Semien, who is ducking. He is literally ducking. He is in the crouched position, fully expecting Corey Seager to field the ball and throw right to first for the out and final out. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. Is it? No, it's not. What happened was Seager went to toss to Semien, and he was just left crouched down, having no idea what the heck was going on. I laughed out loud. I LOL'd, literally LOL'd, as I sat and watched this game. That's going to come back and bite you. Could have had the final out of the inning. Instead, Hernandez goes out. Rodriguez comes in. Schwarber gets up to the plate. There's a wild pitch. You then have second and third with 2 outs. Schwarber gets the walk. You now got the bases loaded. JT Realmuto steps up. 2-run single is delivered. Harper works a walk. Bases loaded. Bohm steps up and gets the 2-run double. The ball that just blooped in, dropped in the perfect no man's land spot in center field. A thing, ladies and gentlemen, of beauty. And the Phillies were able to take advantage of that in this game. And that is probably the best example of the Phillies being able to take advantage of such an awful situation. The other was, Alec Bohm came up there in the second inning. He reached on the error. They dropped it at first base. Stepped up. He hit the single. Castellanos then grounded into the 6-4 fielder's choice. But Bohm was able to go to third. Castellanos was safe at first. Then first and third with 1 out. Marsh got the RBI single to right field. Sosa ended up striking out on a sinker, and then Castellanos scored on a throwing error by Dunning, the pitcher who was trying to pick off Nick Castellanos. And he spiked. We don't talk about pitchers spiking the ball too much on pickoff attempts. We always talk about like a slider being left short of the plate, or maybe even a sinker left short of the plate. This one, he bounced to the second baseman from the pitcher's mound. I think it was Semien on this play. I don't think it was Seager. He bounced it on the dirt. Ball goes into center field. Castellanos scores on the play. And then Rojas flew out to left field to end the threat. And also, what was a weird catch by Evan Carter in that situation as well. So the Phillies got an extra run out of that. They got actually 2 runs out of that, 2 errors. One, Bohm was able to score after the dropped ball at first base. And the other, Castellanos was able to score. Castellanos was able to score on the bounce ball by Dunning, trying to pick off Marsh. Yeah. Can't give this Phillies team extra outs, folks. That'd be a bad idea. When you got probably the best offense in baseball, the hottest offense in baseball, you don't want to give them any extra outs. And that's what the Rangers do. If you do that, they're going to score 11 runs. And that's what they did. They got to 11 runs. I mentioned that there's a personal reason. And my 4-year-old daughter, some of you know her as Lil Toots, okay? Manuela is her real name. And I said it was bedtime. It was bedtime. And I'm single parenting tonight. You know, the wife's away and all that. And I told her, I said, hey, I said, sweetheart, I said, end of the 6th inning, it's bedtime. Figuring maybe 10 minutes. Let's see here. Castellanos walk, the review of the pitch on Sosa allegedly being hit by the pitch. He wasn't hit by the pitch. Rojas reached on an error. There was another error. That was the error, excuse me. Seager to Semien. And then pitching change. Schwarber walks. Realmuto gets a single. Harper works a walk. Bohm gets a bases loaded double. It just kept on keeping on, is what I'm telling you. And I kept on telling my daughter, hey, there's 2 outs. And she'd be like, no. And she knows what that means. She knows once they get to 3, it's the end. I go, there's still 2 outs. And then I was like, a review? What? I go, they're reviewing it. She doesn't know what that means, but she just knew extra time. She goes, extra time? And I go, yeah. So anyway, after about 25 more minutes of not having to go to bed, Lil Toots might be a big baseball fan now. Particularly a big fan of Kyle Schwarber working a walk. Particularly a fan of Bruce Bochy, maybe making a pitching change. Maybe she'll like Bruce Bochy now. So might have made a baseball fan for life in that 6th inning. Thanks, Phillies. Either way, when we come back, we'll take a look at how this Phillies team can do some historic things tomorrow with an afternoon game. The Phillies and Rangers wrapping up this series. We'll tell you all that's on the line. We'll also let you know what happened with the Braves. I believe their game went final. They were up big time, so don't look for anything too optimistic there. But we'll get to all that more when we come back. You are Locked On Phillies postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, like and subscribe. eBay Motors. eBay Motors. Passion, drive, patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and so much more. Whether you're into speed, power, style, all of the above, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride or die every time, or your money back. Because eBay Motors, with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash at eBay Motors. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins with eBay Motors. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. That's ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Got a couple more here in the chat I want to get to before we talk about tomorrow's game. Timothy B. Only complaint that I have is the manager should bring Strahm in from the 7th inning on. I don't believe that Kerkering is still quite ready for high leverage innings just yet. Timothy B., I totally agree with you. And I like Orion Kerkering a lot. He might be a guy that needs to be worked in a little bit, which is crazy to say after you just gave this guy, like, I forget how many innings he had under his belt before he pitched in the postseason last year. And they got to him a little bit. The Diamondbacks got to him a little bit, but yeah, getting that experience under his belt's great. But watching him this year, I was all ready for, all right, Sir Anthony Dominguez, thanks, see you later. Orion Kerkering, high leverage situations, it's all you. And he hasn't been terrible. I mean, I referenced the only hit that the Phillies bullpen gave up today was the home run to Corey Seager off Gregory Soto. But Orion Kerkering did strike out one. He used 17 pitches to get through the one inning of work. His ERA is only at 184 on the season. I know the numbers are good. As of right now, you look at Strahm, they needed somebody to come in. I think they like the lefty matchup there. That's why they went to him. But that's a more high leverage situation, I think, because you need somebody to come in and stabilize everything. You didn't have Spencer Turnbull. I agree with what you're saying on Orion Kerkering. I don't agree necessarily on Matt Strahm. I think you're right. In an ideal world, you're using Matt Strahm later in the ballgame. But in this situation tonight, you needed somebody to come in there and stabilize. And that's exactly what he got done for you tonight. IBH, Little Toots in the fan base partner. Hell yeah, man. She just has to complete the obstacle course, and then she's in. Fightings are on fire, says Corey. Hell yeah. Jason Casarino, what's going on, Jason? Will this have been a good game for Turnbull to come in 2-3 innings after Strahm? I thought it would have been. However, they were talking about on the broadcast how he really is struggling with the transition to the bullpen. My first thought when I saw 4 2/3 was that, Turnbull's probably going to come in. And they didn't do that. Instead, they got some other guys some work. Looks like they need much of that. Don't need much at the deadline. Yeah. I'm not. I know a lot of people are thinking about the deadline. I am not there yet, man. If you ask me about it, I'll answer you, but not so much right now. Yeah, okay, we're all on the same page with Soto and Orion. I think I like Orion over Soto at this point, but that's just where I'm at right now. All right. I mentioned the Braves game earlier today. Oh, by the way, Alec Bohm with 2 RBIs tonight now passes once again Jose Ramirez for the RBI lead in Major League Baseball. Alec Bohm, 46 RBIs in the season to Jose Ramirez, 45. So that's how that works. Home runs on the season. Wow. Bryce Harper now has 12. He's one behind Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. So that's something. That's something worth talking about. Ranger Suarez still leading the league in wins, of course, and second in ERA. Just looking around right now, some stats in Major League Baseball. All right. Where the heck did the Braves score go? They were up like 9-1 on the Cubs. Yeah, 9-2. The Braves won 9-2. They stay 6 games behind the Philadelphia Phillies in the NL East standings. As for the Phillies, here's what's historic about this game tomorrow against the Rangers. Mind you, it's a 1:05 start time. Phillies and Rangers wrap up this 3-game series. Zach Wheeler gets to start against Andrew Heaney. Now, here's the deal. I thought Heaney was supposed to go today. He did not. He's going tomorrow. So if the Phillies win this series tomorrow and they sweep the series with the Texas Rangers, do you know what that means? Well, I'll tell you what that means. That means that the Philadelphia Phillies, tomorrow is the 23rd of May. On the 23rd of May, the Phillies will have reached their 7th sweep of the season if they win this game tomorrow. They had 7 sweeps in all of last year. If the Phillies win this game tomorrow, that means that is now, well, no, today they already locked up their 15th consecutive non-losing series. What? Yeah, that good. And they got their man on the hill tomorrow. Other than Zach Wheeler, or excuse me, other than Ranger Suarez. They got their other man on the hill. Zach Wheeler gets to start for the Phillies tomorrow afternoon, 1:05 start time against this Texas Rangers team. Zach Wheeler is 5-3 on the season with a 2.52 ERA. He is coming off a great start against the Washington Nationals, 7 1/3, allowing just 2 runs, both of them earned on 3 hits. He did issue 3 walks, a hell of a bounce-back performance after getting roughed up a wee bit there by the Miami Marlins, 6 runs and 4 innings worth of work. But he'll be back at it tomorrow looking for his 6th win of the season and lower that ERA just a little bit while he's at it. Andrew Heaney gets to start. He's 0-5 on the season with a 4.43 ERA. He is coming off a 3 2/3 inning performance, allowing 3 runs, 2 of them earned on 5 hits, including a home run and 2 walks against the Los Angeles Angels. Miss Scusi. That's what he's coming off of, and he's looking still for his first win of the season. A lefty in the lineup, on the mound for the Rangers tomorrow going against the Phils. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are great as per usual. Have I said this yet? Make sure you hit like. Make sure you smash subscribe. By the time we close out of this, I want to make sure that we have over 100 subscribers in this brand new channel. Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. I'm sure my man Connor Thomas will be breaking down the Phillies even more so tomorrow. I just want to get this in. Ben, love my Phillies. Ben, we love you. How about that? Is that Dylan? Is that Dylan character? Something about married Dylan? Whatever. Remember, that's a crazy stat. Hells yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On Phillies postcast. Thanks once again, everybody. Catch you guys tomorrow afternoon after the Phillies go for that sweep, their 7th sweep of the season against this Texas Rangers team. See you tomorrow. Bye.